All right, next up, again, ACC, Georgia Tech and Clemson. We've got Clemson 14.5-point home favorites, 55.5 the total. Look, credit to Dabo getting the troops rallied. A disappointing season that's on the verge of falling apart with those losses they had, the Miami loss, the NC State loss, and then all of a sudden, though, Dabo rallies the troops somehow and gets them, to be revved up to play at Notre Dame at home. They come out firing. It was a great game from their defense, a great game from Cade Klubnik, much better. And is everything right again with Clemson now because they beat Notre Dame? There's Dabo in the post-game press conference, the players around him thumping his chest saying, now's the time to buy stock in Clemson in his post-game press conference. And he says that, and I'm selling stock on Clemson here in this game. I don't buy it that they're going to be able to bring it for a second straight week when, again, still, last week's win against Notre Dame doesn't change shit for this team. They're going to the Mayo Bowl. Okay, that's where they're going to end up playing, essentially. In a minor bowl game is their destination at this point for the Clemson Tigers with their 5-4 record. They still need a win to be bowl eligible, and they've only got 3 more games left. So I don't trust this team to have that same fire in their belly and that emotional charge to play Notre Dame as they will here against Georgia Tech. I like Georgia Tech here plus the points. I mean, Georgia Tech is Haynes King in that offense is getting better. It's been the best part of that team. Their defense is still very leaky. I get it, but much better against Virginia last week in that 45-17 win. And you look at some of their recent results, they beat North Carolina, they beat Virginia 2 in a row. They have the upset win against Miami. 3 of their last 4 games they've won and covered. I think it's tough to get margin right now against the Yellow Jackets with how well on offense in particular they're playing. So it's Georgia Tech for me at this number. What about you, C-Mac?
Yeah, can they keep this rolling after the win for Clemson? It seems a little bit flat. And a Georgia Tech team, usually they just kick their ass. They're still dealing with a ton of injuries. And the defense made some big plays. That's been the one thing, the defense I thought's been pretty good all year for Clemson. And they made some plays against Hartman, especially in that first half, and jumped on Notre Dame last week. But I've said all year, to me, it's Georgia Tech. They're getting these points because they can score. We talked about a dog in Vanderbilt I don't want. This is a team that I know can move the ball. They have athletes all over the place on offense. Haynes King has been pretty good. He will make mistakes, and he might, in this game. But I think they could put up some points and hang around, Or I get slapped here in Clemson, rolls them and think they're just back, like Dabo says. But I'm with you. I think, at over 2 touchdowns, it's too many.
Yeah, I think there's great euphoria. Look, Notre Dame's a big-time program. You got them at home. That's just the name brand that's going to get you pumped up to play a football game. But now reality is going to set in at practice this week. We're 5-4. We're going to play in the Mayo Bowl or the Liberty Bowl or the fucking Camping World Bowl, some minor bowl game. You go on down the list. They'll be in one of those this year, and that's not what they came to Clemson. That's not what they signed up for. This team. So I think it's going to be hard for Dabo to tap the motivation meter this week against Georgia Tech, much harder than it was last week.